in college, I remember one time I was making out with my ex at the time.
Thank you for the detailed stories.
Because you know what happened?
Please describe which room you were in.
It wasn't in the room. It was outside. Somewhere outside. But this
public.
is the thing. My dad calls me, right? I'm like, what the why is my dad calling me? He never calls me.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, hey, son, what's up? And I'm like, why are you calling me?
Yeah.
I was like, you're having fun there? I'm like, holy shit.
Where was he?
I don't know. He was in his car. My dad always catches me in his car. I don't know how. It's like he's following me with like an Apple AirTag.
Welcome to the Worst Asia Podcast, where a couple Asian American millennials give you our shitty opinions on all things Asian. My name is Lingjie, here with my co-host, the amazing Korean sensation.
What the fuck?
Ben.
Yo, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Oh shit, I'm good, man. It fucking make me sound like I'm Spider-Man.
I like how you took off your hoodie. Is it actually hot in here?
I was getting hot.
Were you?
Yeah.
I have my heat on.
This is the heat's on right now?
It's on very low.
Yo, turn it off, bro. I don't think. Yo, save your power. Save your power.
Oh, guys, I'm too lazy to disconnect my earbuds and go turn off the heat, so I'm just gonna Venmo request Ben $15.
Fuck. That's where all of our money is going to.
Our not hard-earned money is going to. Just keeping this damn heating bill together. I'm back to drinking coffee right now. Remember how for the past couple months, I think I stopped.
It was a couple months.
Yeah, so if you guys have been paying attention, I stopped drinking coffee on the podcast for the past couple months. I realize whenever Ben comes over for these recordings that I generally drink a little bit too much coffee because we're pumping through like 2 episodes plus like miscellaneous stuff that we're recording. And you know, when you're chatting and your mouth gets dry from all this talking, I just constantly need to put something in my mouth. So coffee was the beverage of choice. And then remember, I told you at the end of the recording days, I would just feel very down, very emotionally down.
Yeah, like drained.
And it wasn't because I was tired, or at least it didn't seem like I was tired.
Yeah.
And then we were trying to figure out what it was. And apparently, I think at that time, and I've tested it, it was just I was drinking too much caffeine that day that I had like a, what do you call it? Like, at the end of it, like caffeine.
Withdrawal, I guess, or something like that?
No, it's not withdrawal because that's when you don't have caffeine.
That is true.
It's like too much stimulants in my body or something.
And I think your body's just crashed from it.
Yeah.
Because you were drinking coffee even before we met.
Yeah,
right?
my morning coffee.
Morning ritual. And then when we together, it's like, yo, let's pump it out.
Yeah, we're drinking like 2 French presses of coffee throughout the whole time.
And then by the time it's like 3 in the afternoon, you're like fucking wired, and then you just crash.
And Ben is horrible with his coffee to water ratio. So he made like a giant French press of espresso, basically.
Oh, yeah.
That was always way too strong.
Yes, delicious coffee.
So I stopped drinking, and now I'm back onto it a little bit. I'm going to see if this makes a difference. So if I'm sad tonight, then I'm going to stop drinking coffee again. That's how I really felt. I felt weird and off.
I remember you saying that, and you couldn't even really put out, even when you explained to me, I was like, I think you're going through it right now. I was like, yo, I see it.
So I'm back on the coffee right now. Hopefully this doesn't go too crazy, and I'm trying to limit myself. I made a very amazing cup of instant coffee.
It's delicious, by the way.
It's very, no, it's Folgers. It's actually ass, but it's okay.
Folgers in
It's actually ass.
your
I was
cup.
telling you off air, guys, if you ever want like good instant coffee, besides the Korean Chinese stuff where it's the milk powder and the sugar already in it, if you just want like regular instant black coffee, the Starbucks instant black coffee is actually the closest thing I've tried that tastes like real brewed coffee.
I remember when we used to shoot way in the beginning, you used to have that.
Really? I didn't have real coffee. I had instant Starbucks coffee.
You have a couple of them on the side.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, let's just do that. I was like, okay.
Did you try it?
Yeah, it was good. That's why what you're saying, I was like, yeah, this was delicious.
Yeah, it was like real coffee. It tastes like genuine coffee that was brewed.
Yeah, even though like the texture once you put it in, I was like, oh, this is really nice.
It was like even more fine granulates of instant powder. So
look at you, granular. Okay.
All right, guys, we're back this week. We have another episode. Sometimes I said this last week, or to us, it was only a few minutes ago, but to you guys, it was last week. I really enjoyed that Asian animal episode.
Holy shit.
If you guys have not listened to it, and if the timing of the schedule is correct, then it should have come out last week. Yeah. It was one of the few episodes that were Ben's idea. He did the moderating, he did the show notes, he did basically the whole thing. I sat around in a very comfortable, oversized hoodie, just basically bantering with you while you moderated, which was nice. So I cannot tell if it's because I like the subject or I just like doing less work.
It could be both, but I hope I'm just glad, I was able to contribute at least. For once. Finally.
Thank you, Ben.
Yes. No problem, sir.
All right. Have you been okay recently? I'm not sure if we talked about it.
Oh, yeah. The last episode, for the most part, yeah, dude. I think so.
You've been okay with work and everything?
Yeah. My central nervous system is fried, apparently.
Oh yeah, you're seeing the cardiologist next week, and then you want to see a neurologist.
Yeah.
Ben,
Every ologist.
guys, there's a lot wrong with Ben.
Yeah. I'm under repair. My warranty ran out.
Your warranty right now.
So I'm just trying to, or my warranty is going to run out. So I just have to milk it everywhere.
Dude, it's like people who quit their jobs or are about to get fired. And sometimes when you get fired, you have like a 1 to 2 months of insurance that they still cover you for when they fire you or let go. So people tend to, in those situations, get everything examined. They get their teeth checked out. They get their vision. They get their like full body, everything. They get the works because they know for a period of time until the next job that they're not going to have insurance.
That actually, I never thought about that. So yeah, I'm not doing that. That's not the reason why. I just have time.
Is everything okay with your heart? Besides the women breaking it?
Just broken. It's so lonely. Ladies, it's so lonely.
Okay, don't slide. Do not slide into Ben's DMs too much. That's what I'm trying to say.
Whoa.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Unless it's about the podcast.
Only about the podcast.
Only about the podcast.
Strictly and only about the podcast.
You heard it. My dad said it's only for podcast. I have a curfew.
Okay, the topic for today's podcast, which I have to go back to doing the moderating.
I'll try to help.
You try to help a little bit? Thank you, Ben.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the Asian love language. And this has nothing to do with anything sexual or anything like that. We just mean like, how do Asian people, generally speaking, culturally, show their affection towards different people?
Yes.
Whether it be a father, son, daughter, whatever family relationship, whether
coworkers.
It be like coworkers, spouses, friends.
Yeah.
I think we can say that given the Asian heritage and cultural norms that it is a little bit different from Western people, right?
I think so.
Generally speaking. So I want to do this in different relationship brackets, okay? Unless you have a different way of doing it. I want to do like, let's say parents first, and then do maybe spouses or partners, significant others, people that you sexually love. Is that?
Oh, okay. I like how Lingjie's like, this is not sexual. Also, if you are sexual.
I'm just trying to describe a relationship in which you're having sex.
Or trying to.
Or trying to.
Yes.
That is true. Some people, hold out until they get married.
Yeah.
Or some people just get rejected. And I don't know. I'm just saying there's that type of relationship. Yeah. There's friends, and then we can even throw in, like you said, like coworkers, bosses, stuff like that. Maybe we do it like a little bit differently, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Parents, first and foremost, let's just tackle that because that's the most easy, relatable things. Everyone has parents. I think a large group of our listener base are Asian, so they might relate to this. But my parents, my entire life, even up until now, have never said "I love you" to me.
Really?
Nor have I said that to them.
How does that make you feel?
It doesn't make me feel bad whatsoever.
This is the norm.
I don't expect that from them, and they show love in other ways that we'll talk about. But
exactly.
I don't ever, now that I'm older, right? I'm trying my best to be a better son. As my wife will say, I'm doing a shitty job at it, but I'm trying to be a better son. But even now, I don't feel the need to say I love you to show affection to them.
Right.
And my entire life, when they never said it to me, I never felt unloved. Did you ever feel unloved just because your parents never said that to you? Or they actually did?
What do you mean? Like, I don't love you?
No. They say the opposite.
Do you think I love you? Fuck out of here.
It's like, good night, Ben. I don't love you.
Every night.
Every night.
It's like, and
I don't love you.
And that's the story of Snow White. I don't love you.
Have a good day at work. I don't love you.
All right. Go do well on that test. I don't fucking love you. You're dead to me.
Did your parents actually say it to you? I'm almost positive your dad did not.
My dad never, but my mom, me and my mom, we say it often.
Do you say it now older in your life, or did you actually say it growing up?
I think for most part, as we're growing up, we're really awkward with our feelings, especially with parents, that I don't think I was expressing it enough. But like you said, we feel it. We show it in other ways.
Did she express it though?
My mom would. Yeah, she would.
Did she say, I love you, God, more, or I love you, Ben, more?
Oh, damn.
if you had to rate those two.
Damn. That's a hard, I have to compete with God.
Who did she show more outward affection towards?
I mean,
God or you?
I'm going to say God because, God, she could go to for advice and prayer. For me, it's like she's probably the reason why she had to go to God. You know what I'm saying?
Because of you, she went to
God. Because of me. So I need God more.
Does she love God a little bit more than normal?
I'm gonna say yes.
Why do you think it's the norm, or it's, I guess, accepted that generally speaking, Asian parents don't say I love you? Because here in the West, even second generation Asian parents like myself are so accustomed to saying I love you to their kids. Like I say it to my son multiple times a day, and
as much as you can.
Every time I say it, in that moment, I mean it like to the 110%.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying it, just like, oh, good night, I love you, blah, blah, blah.
You're right.
Every time I say it, I genuinely mean it. And there's such a big difference between how we perceive that, even though we're only one generation apart. Why do you think like Asian parents are okay not saying that? That's what I'm trying to say.
I think a lot of it has to come to like the survival mindset, where our feelings can't put food on the plate.
Can they not?
Yeah, I don't think we can eat off that.
I feel full right now.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that love filling. Oh, I'm stuffed. I'll take leftovers.
I'll take it to go.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason.
Can I get the
why.
vegan love, please?
I'll take the number 4 love platter. Can you supersize that, please?
Diet Coke.
Extra cuddles. Yeah, thank you. I think it's because our parents grew up with like such bare necessities, where like feelings were not part of the equation.
It was like survival. It's like money. Well, like we always joke about shelter, food, and what else? Safety, right? That's something like somewhere those are the most important things. When the bare necessities like those things are what you're actually trying to get every single day, you really don't have time to worry about whether or not you're loving your kid.
I bet you if we had like our parents here, right? They'll be like, hey, mom, dad, how come you didn't say I love you? Motherfucker, I was in apartheid. I was going to die. All right?
Yeah.
You're alive. That's my way of saying I love you. All right? So fuck out of here with that shit. I think that's how they feel.
Also, I'm almost positive without actually knowing
What?
I like how I say I'm almost positive without actually knowing.
You're positive about not knowing. That's what you mean.
That's my go-to sentence. I'm almost positive without actually knowing that our parents didn't hear I love you from their parents too.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like a norm to them. They probably don't even think about it being abnormal.
Yeah.
We only think about it being abnormal because we're accustomed to American Western culture.
Put it this way. I remember when I went to Korea when I was a child, right? I got to finally see my grandfather. Mind you, I was there for like a month.
From your dad's side or your mom's side?
From my dad's side, right?
Oh, okay.
My grandfather was still alive at the time, but I didn't know who he was, right? Dude, I'm not even joking. I remember I was in the living room. I think he was, because back then there was not much furniture, right? In Asian countries.
Yeah.
So he's in his room watching television. I swear to God, he's just looking over from the backside from the door. He looks at me.
Side glancing style?
Yeah. Like, not in like, who the fuck's this little fat kid?
Yeah.
Just like, oh, okay, I see you. And then he just closed the door. That was the closest interaction I ever had with my grandfather.
Oh, you never had a real conversation with him?
I don't even know what he sounds like. Oh,
you can't remember what he sounds like?
I just remember kind of what he looked like.
Yeah.
And I was, oh, he does look like my dad. I think that's my grandfather. And then that was it. But everyone else in my family, super loving, everything. Just my grandfather was like, did you want a family? Like, that's kind of like the impression our
how we
get, right?
joke about how our parents don't show affection?
Yeah.
I think your grandpa just genuinely didn't love you.
Yeah. If he told me he loves you, I'd be like, you're a liar. You're a scam artist.
He would actually mean that when he says good night, I don't love you.
Yeah, I'll be surprised. It was like, why are you holding my hand? I'd be like stranger danger or some shit.
Did he interact the same way with your dad though? I'm trying to see like where your dad got that coldness from.
So that's the thing. I think my father from my grandfather, it got passed down. But my dad was a little more social. He's like a social butterfly, so that definitely helped.
Huh.
But definitely my grandfather was just stone fucking cold, bro.
Oh my God.
Like, my dad didn't know how to express it. But, obviously he had a great, inner circle with friends. His family for the most part,
So he wasn't void of loving relationships his whole life, right?
Right. Because
he had it from maybe not his own father, your grandpa, but he got it from other places in his friend circle and stuff like that.
Right. So he did feel fulfilled enough, self-fulfilled, where, like you said, our parents will still show it.
Yo,
did you have something similar too?
My dad is like almost the complete opposite because you're able to say that your dad probably, even though he didn't get love from his parents, that he was able to get it from other people. I almost feel, based on the little bit I know about that part of my dad's life, that he didn't get any love, period. So I think I said this before on the podcast and obviously to you in real life, that like my dad has a bad relationship with his parents. My grandpa pretty much gambled everything away. My dad was like, when I say my dad like starved as like a, what do you call like when you're like 5 to 10 years old, like that period of life, you're not preteen, but whatever, like that.
Infant or
no,
not infant.
Not infant.
Infant is 1 to 4.
Yeah, not even like a toddler, but during that young period of his life, like he genuinely struggled to be not hungry on a daily basis. Yeah, because his dad was doing that stuff. His mom was gone, like wherever the fuck she went off to, right?
Right.
So he didn't get that loving relationship from his father like what your dad did. And he didn't have a good structure around, because I assume at least your grandpa had a good like family structure around, in the sense that he had a house and like food on the table.
Yeah, we have we have a big family in Korea.
Yeah, so my dad didn't get that at all. And in some ways that's kind of like tweaked his like his thoughts on life overall. So he's a pretty jaded person.
Right.
His views on work and family and stuff like that is very, very jaded. So to me, I think he's a good dad, right? Because he provided for me as much as he could.
Yeah.
But I think because his way of like showing love to me was just to provide the best for me because he
Right.
knew no other way because he was never exposed to that whatever.
Right.
Even my dad, like right now, when we tried to do like bonding time or like you know
Right.
father-son time, he's not really like that outwardly expressive. And I think that is because that he didn't really get that from his father.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because from my relationship with my father is that, you know, I think as much as you knew that I was growing up, it was really, really fucking tenacious, right? Like with my father, especially, he was kind of the root cause of a lot of the problems. So, like, you know, violence wise, it was like my father was being too involved, but his way was so, I don't want to say toxic, that it was actually leaving a negative impression
Yeah.
that I had to like learn, like, oh shit, I don't want to be like this guy.
But do you think it's also in his mind and just trying to step into his shoes for a second that
Right.
he thought that the hittings
His
or
way.
his aggressive way was his way of trying to
Like make me a better person.
yeah, mold you into a better like the ultimate goal, the means justified the ends.
And, right.
Maybe that's what he was thinking in his mind. Not to say that hitting your kids is a good or bad thing, right?
Right.
It's obviously a bad thing, but maybe in his mind he's like, I need to mold my son who I care about to be a better person. And this is the only way that I know how right now.
Right. Because maybe he was raised that way. And this is the thing. For the most part, I know my dad meant well. And I think as we gotten older, you're a father, right? I'm older, but like, you know, I do think about like, shit, maybe I will have a kid or I do have a kid and I don't know.
Clock is ticking.
Right. So if that's the case, right, it's kind of like, oh shit, like genuinely, I know this guy really tried his best, you know, and ultimately our parents uprooted their home, came here. It's terrifying.
That's the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah. You know?
Some of it was also selfishly so that they had a better life too.
Oh.
But a big part of it was to give you, the kids, a better life too.
Right. Like, for example, it makes sense like why a lot of men, you know, in these kind of countries go to the military is because when you go to the military, you're guaranteed to having a plate of food every night, every morning. You're going to wake up to it.
And money and everything, yeah.
Yeah. Even though it's like not the best, it's consistent.
It's structure in your life.
Right. Exactly. So I think for the most part, my father, now as I'm older, I realize, oh, shoot, you know, you did your best. We have a much better relationship now. And I think for him, since, you know, he's become older, he's become wiser, maybe a little softer.
Yeah.
That he's starting to realize, oh shit, I should have done a little better, you know, but we're making up for it now, I think, which is the important part.
I think no matter what you do as a parent, you always will eventually look back on it and say you should have done something differently.
Right.
Even me, with my son only being 5, turning 6 this year, there's like tons of shit that I've done as a dad that I look back on, oh, maybe I should have done it differently, or I should have taken a different tone or different attitude towards certain things.
Yeah.
So I'm sure your dad probably feels the same way. Even like my dad, who was far less hands-on, and by hands-on, I mean back of the hand-on. He was far less about that, but even he probably looked at it as, and he said this to his grandkid, my son, is like, you don't understand. I always gave your son freedom of choice to like do whatever he wants. So whenever he like did something wrong, that was up to him. Whenever he did something good, that was up to him, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of like his
philosophy.
Polar opposite of what he had to do with his dad, where it was too controlling or whatever.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. So he kind of like, I guess, rebelled on that philosophy of parenthood by doing like the opposite, in addition to just being too fucking busy.
I think, you know, what your father did is like he made the ultimate sacrifice in saying like, I don't want to be like my dad. I want to learn from the mistakes of him. So like you're talking about like the gambling debts and stuff. My father definitely fucked up in terms of finances, you know, our family.
Yeah.
And I think your father is just, his way of saying I love you, son, is by, you know, just trying to provide like everything, you know, that level of like security, you know, and sometimes that is like the ultimate sign of love.
Yeah.
You know,
the ultimate sign of love for a lot of these Asian parents is like what you talked about, uprooting themselves from their home country, going to somewhere where they don't speak the language, figuring out work, figuring out everyday life, just try to like figure out a normal life completely out of nowhere.
Right.
That is the ultimate sacrifice. That's the only way that they can really show love. And if you ever think that your parents don't love you or you have doubts about it, just think about the fact that how hard would it be for you at like your point in your life right now?
Yeah, literally, this is pretty much the age that they did this.
To just get up and go to some random country in, let's say, Europe somewhere.
Yeah, Germany.
Where you don't speak the language, right?
Yeah.
Where you have to figure out what the fuck you want to do with your life. Where you have no transferable skills to find a job.
Exactly.
And you end up just doing like the bare minimum work over there, right? Just think about that. If you could do that, just think about how your parents had to do that for you. And like that is the ultimate sign of love.
Mind you, like no social media. Like my parents came in here and your parents too. they didn't know what the fuck like a checking account was, or credit card was.
Yeah, there was
you know?
no Google Translate to help them like switch to English and Korean and Chinese and things like that. No,
Yeah.
they just have to like randomly figure shit out by mistakes.
Yeah, they
by
came
making
here.
mistakes.
What, a savings account? You know what I mean? Like what? A toilet? That's crazy. You know?
I don't know about the toilet.
No, my mom, she was a farm girl. She was saying she's like, yo, every place has a toilet.
Wait, your mom came from like a rural area, so she did
Rural
not.
as fuck.
Well, that I think I knew, but she was not accustomed to toilets.
No, bro. She was like, I remember like toilets was like a new thing for her. I remember I was like, for real? She's like, yeah, like you have to like go to certain areas for that shit.
You mean sitting toilets, not squatting toilets, or do you just mean a hole in the floor?
I mean like porcelain, like toilet bathrooms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much what my the gist I was getting from my mom. My dad was a city boy.
Yeah, so he knew what a porcelain toilet
Yeah,
was.
I believe so.
He was
man.
used to sitting and pooping as opposed to
Yeah.
squatting and pooping.
Yeah, exactly, dude. But
Okay. So how do our parents show love then? Let's just go over a couple things before we move on to the next thing.
I think for most part we both can agree. Being fed like to the point where we're gonna explode.
Oh, that's the ultimate. That is like, okay, maybe the moving thing is the first thing, but feeding you nonstop until you're about to blow up is definitely the second thing.
Right. It's like I said, we talk about it all the time, but I've seen your parents show acts of kindness and love. Even my my parents, they're like, oh, how's Lingjie? Does he want food? I'm like, can you bring this to him? I'm like, yes. Like, okay, I'll package it. It's like, you're gonna see him tomorrow? Yeah. All right. So give it to him.
Maybe the substitute for I love you is are you hungry?
Yeah.
Whenever they ask, are you hungry? That's their way of saying, I love you. I care about you in this moment. I'm going to make you some food.
I think also for like the guy version of that is like, does Lingjie like to drink? Yeah, give him this shit,
Oh, my dad does that. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
When I come over, he always asks me, what do you want to drink today?
Right, exactly. I think that's a really cool thing. Like we're at a point where age.
Can you say that
Yeah.
asking, are you hungry is more intensive, as in you actually have to make food if they say yes, as opposed to just saying, I love you, where you don't have to do anything following up. Right? Because if you say I love you, they say I love you, you're done. That's the end of that, right? If you say, are you hungry? And the person says, I am hungry, you have to now go cook something.
I think let's say
That involves more work.
it does. But
Much more work.
I think it comes down to what are the 5 pillars of like love language, right? One of it is like acts of kindness, right? Gift giving,
Mhm.
right? So I think like in terms of like preparing a meal and then like breaking bread together,
Right.
right? I think that just shows you a lot more. It could just be in silence sometimes. You don't even have to talk with your parents, but just being able to like eat together, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure you too, I always grew up having meals with my family together.
I remember that.
I did not find it weird that we have meals together. I actually found it more weird when I talked with other friends, more westernized American white friends who like said that they either sometimes didn't have a full meal together.
Yeah.
They would just have food on the table and then go and pick it as they wanted.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, so you don't sit together? I'm not trying to say that you're sitting together and having a deep discussion every single night, right?
Yeah.
But you're at least sitting there and breaking bread together and just having stuff from the same table. I always found it
Yes.
weird that was not the case. Because my parents used to have dinner for me at like 9:30 at night because that's when they got home.
Yeah.
And they were tired and they cooked dinner. Actually, I cooked some of the dinner as a kid,
Yeah.
but still, we had food together late at night because I waited for them to come home to eat.
I mean, there were a lot of times where I remember, me and our friend from the highway will be at your house.
Yeah.
We knew your parents were making dinner, and then you just like step out real quick, and then like I knew like there was a spread,
Yeah.
and sometimes you'll come back and say, oh yeah, we're having dinner, and it was just like, oh shit, like it was almost every night. I remember seeing it.
Every night, every single night, all the same time.
Yeah.
It was always a normal thing.
I
It
will
was just
admit-
like a routine that just made it like, oh, this is when we get together as a family.
And it's crazy. Like we're gonna look back on this, how important that kind of stuff was, because even my parents right now, especially my mom, she reminded me, it's like, oh, we should try to have dinner more together.
Do you guys not right now?
We do like a good amount of times. That's why I like to spend as much time as possible at home, because I know when my mom finishes work, when she gets home, even by then, I'll try to plan my day where I'm like, okay, maybe I could prepare dinner. I could go to the supermarket beforehand.
Yeah, like do your own things beforehand so that you're back at home during that dinner period.
I'll tell my brother like, hey, I need you to like boil the potatoes for now. Get something started so we could just plan it out accordingly. So we do a lot of dinners now.
Yeah, that's good. Just being together, just showing like spending time with each other, I think is a lot. Because now that I'm older, I make dinner, and when we go out and stuff, I always try to make sure that when my wife comes home from her work, that I try to plan dinner accordingly so that it is done by the time she comes home.
Right.
So that the three of us can actually sit together and eat. The dinners themselves are quick and they're whatever, and then we just, part ways kind of afterwards, or like get ready for bed afterwards. But I always try to make sure that whether my wife is working late or working early, that I try to time the dinner so that we're all sitting there and eating.
Right.
And even my son sometimes asking, "Oh, if you're hungry, you can eat now." No, I'll wait for mommy.
Oh,
So it's like a normal thing to teach your kids that we need to eat together as an additional way of showing that we care about each other.
you know what's really cool? Sometimes I'm sure you do it a lot since you cook a lot. If you make something new and you want them to try it, and they're genuinely, oh, what do you think? You actually care about their opinion too.
I am definitely scared of cooking new stuff for my wife.
Really?
Yeah.
But I feel like you're pretty good at cooking though, for most part. Like trying, most
I
shit.
think I'm good at following instructions. I cook a lot, or I used to, and I'm trying to cook more now again. But I just think what I am is I'm good at following instructions. I don't think I have like an innate cooking bone in my body, but I'm good
Really?
at following instructions.
Okay.
That's the thing. Or like figuring out something. So, earlier this year, I was trying to recreate certain recipes that I've liked that I've never gotten a chance to cook at home. Like the kind of stuff that you don't really make at home. Like I don't really fry pork chops at home.
Oh man, that sounds so good right now.
So what I tried to make, I think in January was pai gu fan from tried to make it as similar as to our old spot as possible, 66
Oh
in the
yeah,
corner.
yeah. Corner 66, yeah.
You can ask my wife. I think I got 95% of the way there.
95?
I think I got 95% of the way there. And I wrote down
Shit.
the recipe and I have to make it again. But ask my wife, I got the seasoning down on point. I had the texture of actually the texture was slightly off. It could have been like a bit more crispy and more juicy from the actual pork chop, but I got 95% of the way there. Guys, this is a very, we're in the rabbit hole right now. It's a very,
yeah.
it's a restaurant that Ben and me and our friends grew up eating, but it closed down, and we have not been able to find a similar Taiwanese pork chop.
I was gonna ask that. It is Taiwanese. It was a Taiwanese restaurant.
We have not been able to find a place that makes it like that place, and I've been trying to make it. So what I'm trying to say is I'm just good at following instructions. I'm not a good cook.
Manual from IKEA. Oh,
Just give it to me. I can build the thing. I can build the meal.
I was gonna say I think it's both we can agree on when it comes to our parents, right, and family. The 5 acts of sign of love language is words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts. I would say for most part, when it comes to our family, our parents, we knock off, or it's rotating in those forms.
I don't know, man. Okay, quality time. We just talked about having a dinner together.
I think
we always
so.
try to do that because they're busy working. We're busy in school, so
Yeah.
So dinner time is a big thing. That I
Yes.
agree with. Receiving gifts, we don't get gifts in the traditional sense, like a wrapped gift or anything.
Right.
We get the gift of food, I think. That's the
Food.
ultimate thing.
It could be like, hey, let's enjoy this bottle of wine. But oh, mom, dad, I got you this thing, a new vacuum.
I agree.
Things like that.
Acts of service, I think them working their asses off for you,
Security.
that is a big
Right?
act of service. They're
Boom.
not taking you out or helping you do your hair or some bullshit like that, but they're
Right.
working their asses off 12 hours a day to provide for you. So that's the thing. Physical touch, that's the thing I would say I don't know about because
I don't. Yeah, that one I kind of forget.
I don't think my mom or dad are patting me on the head and saying, "Good job, boy."
Yo, that's so funny. I pat my dad on the head a lot.
I pat my dad on the head too. Yeah.
Oh, really? I just do it because he's bald. And so when my dad gets mad, I go over and say, "Hey, mom, look at this," and I just I make a suction noise. I'm like, and he gets mad.
What I do is sometimes when I'm leaving my parents' house at night,
You pat your dad.
no,
He doesn't care.
instead of giving him
He's
a hug goodbye
Yeah,
or
yeah.
a handshake or a pound,
Oh yeah.
he'll be sitting somewhere and I'll be leaving. Okay, that damn head now. I'm gonna leave now. I'll just pat him on the head.
Oh okay, yeah.
So that's it's like a pound. It's like a high five.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, it's
I think I've been doing that more lately.
Me too. Or when I see my mom, I'll come in and I'll give her a half hug from the back,
You
right?
give her you dap her up, say, "Hey, what's up, mom? Yo, what's up? What's good, yo?"
I've been trying to do
What's
that
good?
a little bit more. I'll give her a half hug from the back kind of thing.
Yeah. I
It's
want
easier to show physical affection towards your mom, I would say.
always.
Always,
Yeah.
right?
I think so.
I
yeah.
mean, we're boys and boys tend to be mama's boys, but still, I think it's just easier to give your mom a hug than give your dad.
If my dad's touching me, it's because he's trying to beat me. That's. I was like, oh shit, I fucked up. Words of affirmation. My grandpa.
none.
Grandpa definitely
None.
is the master of it. Fucking close the tears. Fucking. Yo, I'm trying to watch this. He's trying to watch a television show.
Have a good night. I don't love you.
It's just close the door on your way out.
All right, let's move on to the next thing. These are
Ranting and raving.
relationships in which you have sex. And how do you show love? I'm just trying to
Let's see.
distinguish.
Receiving gifts.
I'm trying to distinguish.
Oh shit. Love and lust.
Would you say it is almost there is nothing to talk about because we have more Western relationships?
Western style.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I have a, yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Oh yeah,
Our
dude.
parents to each other don't show love in the ways that you and I would show love as a first gen Americanized person
Yeah, you know
to
what?
our spouses that we're fucking.
Yeah, especially I would say like PDA for sure. Like
That's
Asian
public display of affection.
Thank you. It's in Asian culture, it's not really looked upon. So, even sometimes holding hands isn't really. That's like a big display of PDA, which is like
But that's
the norm.
such a normal thing for us here in the
here.
West now. Even though we're Asian, we would never be hesitant about holding hands. It's not like some K-drama where it takes them 6 episodes to hold hands, right?
Yeah.
And then when they're holding hands, it's a slow motion. Da, da, da,
Yeah, and then the sparkles and shit.
Da, da, da,
Yeah, and they make the
da.
soft lens. In college, I remember one time, I was making out with my ex at the time.
Thank you for the detailed stories.
Because you know what happened?
Please describe which room you were in.
It wasn't in the room. It was outside, somewhere outside. But this is
public.
the thing. My dad calls me. Right? I'm like, what the? Why is my dad calling me? He never calls me.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, hey, son, what's up? And I'm like, why are you calling me?
Yeah.
I was like, you're having fun there? I'm like, holy shit.
Where was he?
I don't know. He was in his car. My dad always catches me in his car. I don't know how. It's like he's following me with like an Apple AirTag. But he was like, yo, dumbass, you're fucking sucking face outside. Yo, you know how embarrassing that looks? Fucking do it inside, man. Jesus Christ, I have to fucking drive and see you fucking sucking your girlfriend's face. What's her fucking problem? Does she not have any respect for herself? I'm like, I'm in college, bro. I'm like, oh my god. Like,
Once
I'm
again,
like
that's words of affirmation. Words of affirmation from your dad.
He's like, you look like such a fucking moron. He's like, who the fuck does that? You're my son? Get the fuck out of here.
Only your dad can do that.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god. I was like,
did you tell the woman who you were sucking that
yeah, I told
your dad
her,
called and why?
I did, and she was embarrassed too. She thought it was funny.
Yeah,
I was like,
think
this is not funny. My dad was fucking blowing up my phone, bro. I remember.
Oh god.
And then he told my mom. I was like, oh fuck, he never let it go, bro. He never let
That's
that
hilarious. Were you like in the middle of the sidewalk or like the street or something?
I think you know what it was. So
Were you like at a cross section, just in the road?
in a bus. What's it? You know what it is? Because my dad at the time, he had a shoe repair shop, but that shoe repair shop was actually really close to my college, Queens College.
Yeah.
So I think it was during college. I must have been with her, and I just realized he didn't even offer me a ride then. I just realized my dad didn't even, he just called to fucking shit on me. He was heading home. I could have used the ride, Dad. I just realized that too.
But the real question is, if your dad said yes to a ride, would you have just left the girl?
I actually, no, I don't think so. I think it depends, bro. Like,
Yeah.
so
What we're talking about. We're talking about sexual.
Oh yeah, with our partners.
With our partners that we're fucking. That's,
yeah. Does it? Do we check off a lot? I think for most part we have to check off a lot of those
there is
things.
no Asian difference with us, at least, right?
I think if we're born here, Asian Americans, we check off all these things.
Yeah, it's pretty close to what Western people do. Like, there is nothing different about that than it is with other Western cultures, right?
I think like words of affirmation, like also us like doing back then. I don't know if kids still do it, like writing like little love letters and shit.
Oh, yeah, that was those cute back in.
Mixtapes. Do people? No one makes mixtapes.
Ben, do you want to describe to the few? Actually, I'm not sure how many younger people. How young do you have to be to not know what a mixtape is?
I don't know. That's like a good question to like see like how far generations
If you're in
are.
college right now, you probably do not
Hell
know
no.
that. Okay, so if you're in your early 20s, probably not.
When they think of mixtapes now, they just think of like this really talented high school kid playing basketball, and they're like, "Yo, did you check out this guy?" Like, I think that's the only time they think
Like
about
a highlight reel?
Yeah, like a highlight reel and shit, or like, "Yo, did you check out that SoundCloud rappers mixtape?" I think that's the only time they hear that. But
Okay, maybe in your mid to late 20s is the last sub-generation of people that would know or have done a mixtape or received a mixtape. Ben, do you want to show or do you want to tell what a mixtape is?
mixtape is when pretty much back then we had these things called like a cassette or a CD.
Do you want to describe what a cassette is?
A cassette is how do you even describe a cassette?
It has film inside.
It's a film that
The square.
records sound. It's a rectangular shape.
It's basically magic.
It's-
Sound gets onto film. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, if you guys watch Guardians of the Galaxy, when you watch Peter Quill, Star-Lord, the thing that he's listening to,
Is a cassette player.
That is called a cassette player.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a Walkman, right?
I think it is.
But he
Walkman.
later switched to a Zune.
Yes.
You remember?
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we have a CD, a compact disc.
Yes.
That to describe a disc.
It's a circular item. It's shiny on one side.
So you know
Once
how
again,
you
it's magic. Sound goes onto shiny metal. How does that actually work? Sound goes onto shiny plastic metal.
Yeah, it just somehow gets transcribed with magic and transformation.
So get to the actual mix taping.
But it was just
the pirating.
yeah. So
it's analog torrenting.
analog torrenting.
Isn't that what it was?
Oh shit! Technically, that's the best way.
It's
That is
analog
literally
torrenting.
spot on. But all you did was just like have all these like lovey-dovey like songs, right? It could be like R&B songs, cute little indie love songs, and then you just make a mixtape or a playlist of these songs, put it on. You write a little note like saying like to Snuggy Poo, whatever you want to say.
Snuggy Poo.
Yeah, and then you just give it to her, and they'll listen to it, and it'll be like a little gift to remind them that how much you love them by stealing other artists' music.
Pirating.
Yes, that's pretty much what it was. I would say also, guys, if you really want to get a girl's attention, learning an instrument really helps.
It does.
And you could be shitty at it, but if you could just play a riff,
learn one chord,
and just learn to pick at it, right? Yo, she's gonna want you.
By the way,
real
Ben
bad.
used to play the guitar. Actually, you say you still do?
Here,
Are you
here and
trying
there.
to?
Here and there. Yeah.
Who has my guitar right now?
I still do actually. I still have it though.
Wait, do you have my guitar or our
The red,
on the
no,
highway?
the red Fender.
You still have my red Fender?
It's somewhere. That one I know for.
Are you sure?
Because I was performing with that.
I'm trying to. Are you sure?
It was the only at that point a guitar that was like usable outside, like to perform with.
Oh, okay. Thank you for stealing my stuff. As you guys will know from a past episode, Ben stole my guitar from now, and then he also stole my Pokemon card.
I'm gonna come back with a nicer, actually more damaged guitar now. But I will say this: it's funny how me and Lingjie both got guitars because I think we're trying to start a band.
We were trying to start a band.
Yeah, but the thing is that we went to this Guitar Store, Guitar Center, right?
Guitar Center. It's still there.
And the thing is, like, when we bought the guitar, we didn't have enough money to consider to buy the bags that come with it.
Nope.
So we're on the fucking bus, sitting next to each other, holding the guitars on our laps,
Holding the raw
Just
guitars with
sticking
no covers,
and we were
no
so
strap.
We were so cheap. They were the display models.
They were.
Because we could get a discount for them.
Yeah, because they were like nicked up and stuff.
And mind you, we didn't have any equipment. We didn't have the cable, the strap, no picks. We were only enough to buy the fucking guitar, so we couldn't even hear it.
I'm more amazed you were able to afford it. How did that happen?
I actually you're
Was
right.
it your McDonald's money?
I think it was McDonald's money.
Oh, that's what I paid for. It couldn't buy a car, so it bought a. Ben's like, how do I get a girl? The car, I can't afford it. Now it's $7 per hour. Actually, what was it? $5.50
fucking bucks, $5.15.
Now it's $5.15 per hour. He's like, what's the next best thing from a car that will get a girl? Instrument. He's like, I can't carry around a piano, so I got the guitar.
Piano.
Plus, electric keyboards were actually more expensive sometimes.
Oh yeah, you're right. And yeah,
Those Yamahas.
you need power all the time. You're like just clacking. It's just like pressing on and stuff. But
Yeah.
anyway, back to the people we're trying to have sex with.
Okay. So basically, let's just skip this part because I don't think there's any distinct ways in which Asian couples show love as opposed to American couples.
A
Right?
lot of hot pot. That's the only thing I could think of.
Food, but everyone treats everyone to food, though.
I know.
That's not anything, right?
Yeah, it really isn't.
There is no real difference. Not with Americanized Asian people. And I can't speak on like non-Americanized Asian people because I don't know how they date.
Yeah, I was trying to think, but I was like, no, they're all women, even Asian women they're still women.
K-dramas are not realistic, right?
No,
They can't be, right?
no, dude, no. And if you're dating a girl that's like, I want to be like that, dump her. Red flag. Don't fall for it. It's a trap.
It's gonna take 10 episodes to get a kiss.
It's gonna be a 10 episode.
You guys don't want to go on.
Guys, just for her to grab your finger.
Da-na-na-na, da-na, zoom in,
Oh.
slow pan, zoom in. Da-na-na-na.
Oh, God.
Like Ben said, it's raining now. There, she's holding the umbrella.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's only enough to fit both of you for some reason.
For some reason,
Yep.
because they don't sell larger umbrellas in Korea. They specifically just sell the tiny kid-size umbrellas
Yeah.
in which you have to get too close.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, how do we show affection to, I guess, our peers, our friends, stuff like that? People that we are not fucking. But how do we show affection to people that we're not fucking?
I try to have sex with them all the time.
No, you try to not have sex with them. That's how you show that you. It's like, I'm doing you a favor by not trying to fuck you right now.
Yeah, you don't want that, bro.
It's different, right? Maybe my dad with his friends, I would say, it's always inviting them over to like have food and drinks.
Quality time.
But it's specifically quality time to get hammered. And I'm just talking about like from a guy's point of view.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah. Because like you got to get hammered. You want to get hammered with, your dogs, You know,
not
the
your
crew.
actual dogs.
Yeah. You know, your
Please don't
homies.
feed your dogs.
Yeah, you want to get fucked up. You want to get smacked with the bros.
Do you think it's because drinking culture is a very deep part of like specifically Asian men's
Since the beginning of time,
friendships?
Yeah,
But do you think it's possible because our friend circle does not drink a lot, yet we still stay close friends and they are Asian.
yeah, they are Asian.
They are Asian.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say is like you can be close friends and not have like this total drinking thing. For men, I'm saying.
That's what I really love about our friendship is that, and I try to point this out to other people. Like, I feel like I'm like the friendship guru because of it. It's like, if you have to drink, party, do drugs, those aren't your friends. That's just a distraction, you know? But us, yo, I'm not even joking. For the most of our time, our group, we could be playing board games for hours. And it's the best time. It's the best fucking time of our lives.
I am hammered though. I'm probably like the only one that's like smashed.
Even in middle school, Lingjie was fucking shit faced. And that's the thing, like, I think it's really funny in a way how, you know, their wives are always like, how are you guys always talking so much? You guys been friends for so long. And like, because our fat friend is just laughing to himself on the phone, just laying there just laughing and shit. And she knows who we're talking to. You know, he's talking to.
Is that reflective of the fact that you and I can make so many podcast episodes every single week?
No, dude.
Yo, it's true, right? Because we don't do many interviews anymore. Technically, we have like a topic for each podcast and we try to like branch off and talk about. So we have material for it.
Right.
But for the most part, more recently, it's just been literally us talking. And you know, it's funny. I don't hear a lot of people saying that they want us to go back to too many interviews. Although I do want to do like some interviews.
Yeah, of course.
Some things sprinkled here and there. So it does speak a lot to the fact that we can't really talk about nothing for so long without alcohol.
Oh, shit. Oh, see, there you go. Boom.
I mean, we just did a whole 1 hour episode on Asian animals. So,
oh, yeah. Kung Fu Panda, you mean? The episode on
Kung Fu Panda,
the real Kung Fu Panda?
real Kung Fu Panda review.
So, yeah, like, I think for, you know, going back to what you said, like, quality time. You know, we try to go out of our way to spend time with each other, you know? And also, it's just like, we could be watching Food Network, which we have.
Yeah.
And we're just watching Food Network and just you know, bumming. You know, we don't have to get drunk and shit. Or like look at tits all the time.
What the fuck? I'm married. I don't do that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant
Actually, now that I have the ad blocker, maybe I can start doing it.
Yo, dude, you just fucking you just fucked up, bro.
That's a callback to our past episode.
Lingjie took one. Lingjie's taking one for the team.
Yeah, okay, so maybe not. Oh, so do more traditional Asian friends do it like a different way, or it's just purely drinking from a guy's perspective?
Oh shit. I think it's just that one's more like a
guys don't give
human
guys
thing.
gifts, right?
Yeah, dude, we give during the holidays.
No, you
Birthday.
give apology gifts. That's different. But you, whenever you fuck up, you give gifts to say that you're sorry and that you want to like.
And yeah, and our CTO, he just is so rich. He just has too much shit. He's like, he's really calling it junk. But he's like, oh, I mean a gift. That's what it is.
Oh, yo, weird side note. I just love getting junk from our CTO.
Yes. His version of junk is, it literally changes my whole life.
I think last time he said, guys, I have this $300 Wi-Fi Nest network kind of thing. Who wants this for free?
Didn't he also have like the like he had a backpack that has Wi-Fi? He's like,
wait,
this
what?
is shit like the military uses.
He has a backpack that has Wi-Fi?
It's like a modem. It's like the worldwide modem. You can put it on a boat. You can put it on something.
Why did he have that?
Because he's rich.
Why did he have that?
I don't know. He's putting it on his yacht. I don't know, dude. But I was like, how much is that?
He's trying to give it to you?
I think if we just ask him, peer pressure enough,
yeah,
he'll give it to us.
He would?
Yeah. He'd be like, I wasn't thinking about giving it to you guys, but fuck it. Yo, I guess you guys can use it for now.
What else can we peer pressure him into giving?
I mean, he kind of blessed us with all the equipment. Initially.
Oh, yeah.
That's the truth.
Our first ever recording thing for this podcast.
Yeah.
And this is like a callback to you new listeners who kind of don't get why we call him CTO, or to some people that don't get why we call our other friend fat friend on the highway.
Yeah.
There are some new listeners that may not get that because I think we first talked about that way back then, and we've just used that as name. So a very quick side note, our fat friend on the highway,
yes,
he's just a fat friend that's on the highway.
He lives on the highway. We love you, bro.
Why do we... Is it because he's always listening to us in traffic
when
on
he's
the highway?
driving? Yeah, when he's driving.
And he's fat.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And he's our friend.
Yeah.
So it's self-explanatory.
Yeah,
our CTO, we called him our CTO, our Chief Technology officer was
yeah.
because in the beginning when we first started doing a video format for the podcast,
Yeah.
he donated like his old iPhones that he stole from his office. And there's a reason why we there's a reason why we can't say his name because we can never tie everything together.
They're gonna find out, dude.
No, nobody will find out.
Oh my god.
Nobody will find out.
Jesus Christ, dude.
So that's why we call him our chief technology officer because he donated that stuff for us.
Yes.
Now we only use one of the cameras as backup. I mean, one of the old phones as backup. But I think at that time, those phones were still like $300-$400 per phone.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, because at that time they were like newer iPhone. I think this is an iPhone with 1 terabyte of memory on it.
That iPhone is better than my current iPhone. Let's just put it that way. His junk is better than the shit I can afford. That's the truth.
So show love to your Asian friends by just giving them stuff that you steal from work. That's what that's true. You steal stuff from work and you give it to me all the time.
Yo, shut the fuck up, bro. The fuck is your problem? Bro, they fucking listen. He's talking about back then, like when I worked at McDonald's, guys. That's what Lingjie means. All right, it's not current. He just means way back then, like a decade ago.
I used to drive through and Ben just threw fries in my face and I drove away.
I'm not lying. That was the best feeling in the world. It's like, yo, I can hook you guys up.
Yo, back when I used to work at KFC, I showed you my love, and I'm trying to tie this into this topic.
Oh yeah.
Did I used to give you free food? I gave my wife free food all the time.
I used to also. The best part was when we had the Super Bowl. We used to get fucking stuffed because we got free KFC.
Well, it was next to free.
So what Lingjie used to do is like, guys, buy like the cheapest thing in a bucket, and he used to fill it to the top with just fucking wings. Like I swear, there were like 60 wings in a bucket.
And then my manager's like, "Why are you bagging up a 3-piece meal inside the giant bucket?"
3-piece meal. This bucket has sauce only.
The customer asked for more air. He wanted more space.
Yeah, he just really wanted to make sure it wasn't squished. That was the thing.
Yo, it was so easy to give extra food from KFC because of the bucket thing. So you used to go to the countertop, you would just wink at me, you would buy real food, and if I was packing it, I would just take a bucket, put your actual food in it, and just fill the rest of the space in the bucket with actual food.
The only way they could tell is like, why is this shit heavy as fuck? Like, why do we need to like put 5 plastic bags? Why is it so fucking
heavy?
4-piece
nuggets.
So I think with friendship, right?
All right.
Words of affirmation, I guess for guys, when we're making fun of you, that's our way of saying I love you.
Yeah.
You know?
When I call our fat friend fat, I just want him to be healthier.
Yeah.
That is the honest truth.
Yeah. And also because he's fat.
And I may take a little bit of enjoyment by calling him.
I was going to say, we enjoy it.
We have a public platform in which to make fun of him. And I use that to the best that I can.
That's the only reason why this podcast got started.
I don't use his name, so it's fine.
That is true. So we guys don't know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
But that special friend knows who he is.
Every single
and
time.
for that, he should be honored. What's it? Quality time? I think that's a given.
Yeah, but it's hard because the older you get, it's hard to spend quality time with your friends.
I think the fact that we try to do it though, that's the cool thing about it. It's like
we try and fail,
and we end up just like cursing each other out, like you fucking piece of shit. And it's like, all right, then, but we make it work.
We don't make it work. We try, but we fail.
Try. Yeah, we do try.
Do you call it having sex if you try to have sex but you don't have sex?
That's true. It's like you're just naked then. It's just naked. Now you're just a creep, bro.
It's us 4 guys naked. Like,
what the fuck?
Why are we here?
What the fuck? Yeah. It's like, wait, we're watching the Super Bowl? What the fuck?
Why are we all naked?
All right. Physical touch. Naked. I shouldn't have said physical touch after this naked joke. That was probably a bad timing.
It's bad timing.
Okay, acts of service. That still sounds wrong. Oh shit, this is bad. We can't. No, I don't think I can save myself. I don't want to say the last part, bro.
Okay, Asian friends treat each other the same.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Let's
the last one's
let's
receiving
move on.
gifts.
I do think there is a unique difference between Asian bosses and employees than American bosses and employees.
Facts.
I do think that is something that we can talk about, right?
Yeah.
Not just in like Asia where you get to hang out with your boss and like drink with them sometimes.
Oh yeah, that's true. You're right.
In Japan, the whole office drinking culture and going out with your peers and your higher ups and your subordinates, that is like a normal thing. Sometimes it's so normal to the point where a lot of employees dread having to go out with their like coworkers and their bosses to drink too much, but they feel obligated because if your boss says, "Hey, let's go out and grab a couple of drinks," that's not like should we? That's let's go.
Yeah, you're not getting paid for it too. So
you're not.
Yeah, you're not getting paid for that.
And in those cases, I don't know. Do you, the employee, would you treat or should your boss treat?
I think if it's the
or do you fight
bosses,
for the check?
Yeah, I think you got to do that bullshit. Tango Fandango.
Yeah.
So it's pretend you're doing it, but
Well, maybe in Japan they have a more common like
Korea they do it a lot actually.
but who pays though? Like is it normal for one person to pay and it's understood that that person
Shit.
usually
I
pays?
forgot what it's called in Korean, but I've been part of it where like sometimes I was even invited from my partner I'm trying to have sex with. What's it? Hijim? I forget what it's called. Koreans, real Koreans, if you know, please let us know. But it's like a little powwow, but it's usually from the manager or the boss.
So they'll pay for it, right?
Yeah. So there'll be like sometimes like most bars they'll just have like a little party. I guess it's a version of a holiday party, you know? But they used to do it like once a month. But then I would be like, you guys are just fucking each other. That's what I was thinking. I was like, this guy's a fucking perv, bro.
But on the side, it is normal just to get smashed in like an Asian workplace environment. Like that is okay. That's not anything strange, right? Maybe if you're like in a giant company, the freaking CTO of Samsung is not coming down to like get smashed with you.
Right.
But you and like your direct manager, maybe like the office manager, like in that immediate space where you work together, it's okay for you guys to go and get like smashed. And like that is the normal. And you show that you care for the company and you care for your working relationship by doing that.
Yeah, I think even for my position, I'm a manager, but I'm like not the owner, obviously. So I'm in the middle. So I can't really have fun, but I have to be there.
Right.
You know? So it's but then like for the boss owner, I don't know, they might be trying to, you know, get a little
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But it is that sense, it is very prevalent in Asian culture for sure.
To like have a normal outside the office relationship with your coworkers, right?
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
I would say like maybe for small companies here in the US, that's normal too. Especially people that work in the restaurant field, no matter if they're Asian or not, that's probably normal to go out and like get food sometimes.
Like I always say after I finish my shift, it's our version of happy hour.
Right.
You know, so if we finish at like midnight, we want to go to the local pub, bar, you know, just have a few beers. Hopefully something's just playing too.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like unwind before we go home.
Yeah, that is kind of normal. But in the office environment, it's not so normal here in the West as opposed to in the East. Because when I worked at my office, I would say, actually, you know what? we used to drink in the office. I'm just thinking about it. We didn't go out to get smashed. We stayed in the office to get smashed.
But you would like, you did it with like yourselves or like with certain like rank.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
okay, that's true. So it was me and the other manager.
Right.
So,
See, that's what I was going to say.
so it's like managers having drinks together as opposed to the whole office. So like I didn't have any of my subordinates or like the clerical staff in the front join us. It was just me and the other managers. Okay, that's true. I never thought about that.
right. That's what your position does matter too.
Okay, but in Eastern culture, that's less of a factor.
Yes.
It still matters, but it's less of a factor.
That's what I'm saying. So it's more common where like in Asian culture where like, you know, the bottom, you know, we're not trying to like judge, but you could drink with the owner, you know, you'll kick it, like literally just get hammered.
The only difference is when you are drinking, you have to show more respect towards them when you're drinking, right? Like,
You're right. That's another thing. I think Chinese culture does the same shit as Korean.
Yeah.
You know, like pouring for each other.
you guys have a more formal version of it, but I think
Right.
all Asian cultures, generally speaking, when they're out drinking, will be more respectful of like a higher title person or like a older person.
Right. There are actual rules that apply, even if you're getting hammered. You know, that's the truth. So I guess that's the one thing that definitely
But you
sticks
could
out.
get hammered together.
Exactly.
That's the difference, that you could get hammered together. I don't think
Right.
I would ever have taken my employees out or even like send them to the back office and like start drinking with them. That would have been kind of weird because then you breach that like authority figure kind of thing, right?
Exactly. There still has to be that like fine line that divides it. But when you're in Asian culture, we actually want that to be broken.
Huh.
You
And
know?
at the same
But
time,
respectfully.
they can turn it back on when they're back in the office too, right?
Right,
Like
so-
there is no weird thing like, hey, bro, we got smashed last night. It's like, oh, sorry, boss.
Right.
You can turn it on and off. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
It's a little bit more different here because I don't think you would be as easily
You don't.
able to turn it on and
I
off.
think what you're trying to say is that like in Asian culture, it's like, oh, like, yo, that was fun. We got to get shit faced with the boss, right? But then it's like, you got to go back to work and it's, you know, it's all about being professional.
Yeah, and we don't talk about last night. That's
right.
it.
And then the thing about like maybe here is that now they just get lazy and shit and they try to abuse it. It's like, oh, I'm cool with the owner.
Yeah, right?
You know, that's the difference.
Not
too.
that it would always happen, but you would think there's a risk of that happening.
Right.
So you tend to not drink with your lower employees or like people of.
I think that one is definitely a difference between the Asian culture.
On to our favorite part of the whole podcast is ranting and raving, where Ben and I like to take a couple minutes to bitch about something good or bitch about something bad. My bladder is extremely full right now.
Yo, me too. Me too.
Extremely full.
I was gonna say, you want to go first because I'm pretty sure that's you that wrote.
Okay, my ranting and raving for this week is a continued ranting and raving from several, 1, 2, 3, whatever. In the past, I talked about this. Fuck Con Edison. I just got another monthly bill of nearly $600.
Holy shit!
And I thought I was being cheap that month.
We just talked about like the secrets and the tools to do.
I thought I was being cheap. And you can ask my wife. She constantly says she's freezing in this house. She's always like, it's so cold.
Yeah.
I agree. It's cold. But I swear to God, how is the bill still so high? Why is it so cold? It's one thing if I'm warm and I'm like, oh, I feel like
You feel
I'm getting
you got your money's
value.
worth. Yeah.
Right. It's another thing if I both feel cold and my wallet gets lighter at the same time. Like those two things should not go together. Because if you're gonna, let's say, pay for a nice meal, you want to make sure you eat a good food. But if your bill is like a lot and you felt like you ate McDonald's quality food, you would feel bad. That's how I feel about my heating bill right now.
Oof.
I feel like I'm getting McDonald's quality heat, but I'm paying like Peter Luger prices.
Yo, well said. Well,
So bad. So bad. This is why I can't wait till it's spring.
You know, it's
Can't
also
wait.
funny. Like when I try to tell Lingjie like when I'm on my way, and Lingjie I think like reluctantly messages, "Okay, I guess I'll turn on the heat."
Yo,
That's the way I read it as.
whenever Ben says he's on his way, I'm like, now I will turn on the heat. Because I'm not going to turn it on too early. What if he doesn't show up? There's been several times in the past when I've complained to you where
Yes.
I've tried to preemptively warm up my house.
It's fucking. It's like an oven.
I try to preheat my house
Yeah.
before I bake this turkey.
Yeah.
And then you just don't show up. So then I feel like I wasted several hours of heating.
Yeah.
So guys, please, my God, tell me. And I don't want to move to a warmer climate. I actually like 4 seasons.
Yeah. Yeah. For most part.
I just don't like that my house has the shittiest insulation possible. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, I think you're right about
That's the
that.
problem.
Actually.
It's poor insulation. And I know that for a fact.
You think it's that shit right there? I mean, people can't see it, but
That
Well,
front room?
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's that front room, but no, but it's my whole house. It's an old house. And the one thing I regret not doing with this house is knocking down all the exterior walls and putting in new insulation. That's the one thing I regret not doing because the walls were in good condition because they semi renovated prior.
You did a lot of.
Yeah,
work
the
too.
floors are all new, the staircase and the whole kitchen is new, but the one thing that I regret not doing is knocking down the exterior walls from the inside and just putting in new insulation.
Yo, I was just telling Lingjie, I was like, I think it's warmer outside than inside of the place.
Fuck you. and my heat's on right now, just sucking money out of my
Yeah,
wallet.
I was like, the heat's on?
All right, Ben, what do you have to bitch about this week?
Not bitching, it's a rave. Congrats to Bobby Hyung on Noksu. I got to read the review from Peter Wells.
What's the restaurant again?
Noksu NYC.
Is that Korean or
It's Korean.
it's Korean for what?
It's Korean. I don't know.
You don't know what it's. You have no idea.
No. Bobby, maybe you can explain that to us in the future. That's what I really meant.
Oh, nice.
So congrats on that, Bobby Hyung. But pretty much, yeah, I read the review. It was pretty stellar.
Is this your way of begging for free food?
Yes, Bobby Hyung. Yo, hook it up.
What the fuck?
Hook it up. Can you see me? Camera, zoom in on me.
Does he listen or does he watch the video?
He only listens. He says, it's just thank you for being a long time listener. Actually,
Appreciate it.
he's like, I have a disdain for a podcast, but you guys I fuck with. So thanks, Bobby.
Good job, Ben, using a public platform to ask for free food. I know why you're doing it.
We don't even do food reviews. That's the worst part.
Okay, you give me the info later. I will put the link to the restaurant down below. Okay.
Thank you.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
And you can find out what the meaning of the actual name of the restaurant is.
Yes, Bobby Hyung. Sorry, I'll DM you later, bro.
You did no prep work for this. You just got hungry.
I'm starving, bro.
Okay, guys, we're at the outro. We have 2 very full bladders, so let me get to the outro very quickly. Number 1, I want to thank you guys for listening and getting up to this part of the episode. It means a lot to us. Unless you've fallen asleep, then wake up. Wake up right now.
Wake up.
Wake up. No,
Wake up. Why'd you believe his keys on the table? No one knows what the fuck we're singing. I wanted to. You wanted to.
Guys, if you know what song we're doing right now,
We're gonna get sued by them.
we barely know what song that
We're
is.
gonna get sued by them now.
Is that System of a Down?
I don't think you trust. Yeah,
That is right. Okay. Thank you for listening to the episode. Please leave us a 5-star review if possible. Don't tell us about the podcast.
We don't. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the beauty of our friendship to end this podcast. The reason we're able to keep going strong with our mediocrity is because we do not listen or read the comments. Some of those comments, you guys are vicious.
That's on the social media.
Social media, God.
That's a little bit different. Anyways, tell your friends about the podcast. Maybe
Yes.
they'll get a kick out of it. If they're a friend of yours, then they should be a friend of ours too. Then what else do I have to say?
like that.
Follow us on all the social medias at Worst Asian Pod.
That was jolly.
You can slide into Ben's private DMs if you want to.
That sounds so wrong every time. I don't know why when you say it, it's just
Slide
sounds
into
so
Ben's
wrong.
DMs if you want to say hello.
Slippery.
You can slide into our DMs as well. That's at Worst Asian Pod. If there's anything else, no. We have a monthly subscription. If you're a super fan, if you like to hear more of our bullshit, we do a new episode every single month. It's a bonus episode. It's on the main page on Spotify or Apple. You can subscribe directly.
Yep.
It goes towards just I don't know, bullshit for the podcast, I guess.
Yeah, it's been awarded from the Peabody Award. Yeah, it's award.
But don't feel obligated. I think just you guys tuning in every single week does a lot for us, so it means a lot. Anyways, we will catch you guys next week. We're gonna run to the bathroom and see who gets there first right now. Bye
All
bye.
right, bye. Peace.